Good evening and welcome to the March 26, 2015 Conservation Commission meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:10 p.m. First item on the agenda is a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sue, could you do a roll call for us, please?
Okay. Bruce Spector.
Here.
Here. Drew Keyfaber.
Here.
Jeff Goldnoff.
Present.
Thank you. And so this is a special meeting, and it was called because we have some applications for Shanda Park usage, and based on the timing associated with those, we needed to have this meeting to be able to address those in a timely fashion. And so the first application is coming from Donna Chick on behalf of the Rite Aid Wellness program that they're hoping to run. So Donna, could you give us a brief introduction?
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind, slide the microphone over, and that'll make it easier for anyone to hear.
Can I sing? No. First of all,
if you will.
Thank you all for messing up your lives to do this. I would have pushed it out further had I could, but the last weekend of this whole fundraiser that I'm working on is the week following the 18th that I wanted to do this for. Anyway, what I'd like to do is Rite Aid Pharmacy's always, for the past 20 years, been raising money within its communities for the Children's Miracle Network, which is, for us, Boston Children's Hospital. It's Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. And they've raised like over $70 million in 20 years, just $1 at a time in most cases. And this year, they really want each store to provide one big event, other than just, raffle off a basket. So what we had come up with is Rite Aid's first annual Splash for CMN. And it's still going to be a splash, but I found out just yesterday, Drew, that corporate, after 3 weeks of asking them, can I do this, can I do this, can I do this? No, I cannot do this. So, no joke. And so finally, we did decide it will still be using the Lamprey River or the waters, and it will still be very splashing because we're going to use buckets. Instead of, the whole risk of people running into the river or the water, they just didn't like that idea. They didn't bother calling me to really ask me, but corporate, no. Too busy for this. So we're still going to make it. It doesn't sound as exciting as like a polar plunge or the splash or anything, but we're going to have buckets, and they're going to get very wet and very miserable. And that was the whole point. So like the school is on board with it. What they're doing is they put out containers, and for the teacher who raises the most money, unfortunately for them, they have to get wet. And it's kind of like a combination, polar plunge and ice bucket challenge. So it's not going to be much fun for them anyway. And that's not really the purpose, but it gets everybody excited. So the school's on board with it. Jeremy's Pizza's on board with it. Johnny Boston. What they're doing is, like, Jeremy will probably be the one that gets wet. And Johnny Boston said he would. I spoke with Jen from Riverworks, and she's going to be involved. I just haven't gotten to all the different businesses yet.
Sure.
But it sounds like it's pretty exciting. People are going to be donating gift cards and food and different things. So we'd like to have a couple tables down there. We're going to have raffles. Either we'll do gift baskets up, or people can just put things in front of each item they want, and we'll have raffles. And all the money that we procure that day will go to Boston Children's Hospital. And I'd like it to be a yearly event, and I think it would be pretty fun. And it looks like, whether we go in the river or not is another story, but it looks like the ice is finally moving a little bit, so we can at least get our buckets full. So, we just wanted your permission because it's not our land.
Sure.
So, I mean, it is under Rite Aid, but in the application, I put Rite Aid Pharmacy and CMN, Children's Miracle Network, because it is a combined effort.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Great. So thank you for that presentation, Donna. And it sounds like an interesting fundraiser and a unique opportunity. And it sounds like you're doing a great job of getting additional community involvement through these other
I'm hoping
these
so.
other
I'm
folks.
hoping it would be. I'm hoping that being April 18th, people will be out and about and they'll see, oh, what's going on? Because we hope to have food and stuff.
Right.
So hoping it will be a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, it makes it more of a community event, which is a
Yes.
good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So does anyone on the commission have any questions or comments?
The only thing liability insurance, does town cover that, or do you have your own through the Children's Network, or right now?
Under the Children's Network, I think there's coverage. I'll have to speak with Jen. She's the director of Boston Children's Hospital Charity Trust. But that was one of my concerns. What do we do in that situation?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and you spoke with the town administrator, Steve Fournier, about this?
Yeah,
Did-
he gave, I said, well, what about liability and everything? He said, don't worry about it. Hey, I didn't get it in writing, but I probably should have. But he was the one that gave me the permission, as long as it was okay with you guys.
Okay, sure.
And I spoke with the police department, and they said unless, there's 1,000 people and you need traffic control, that they don't need to be there. And I don't know where we're not actually jumping into the water or running into the water, if we should still rile up the ambulance or the rescue service.
Right,
I mean, I don't know.
right.
I've never done anything like that. I've never done any kind of fundraiser, so I'm new at this.
Sure.
So.
So I guess we don't have an answer to your question, Bruce, other than,
Well, Steve must be thinking that it's covered through the town policy.
yeah,
Worst case, it's
Right.
covered by the town
right.
policy.
I would say worst case, it's that.
Um,
We could certainly send him an email and confirm that
Just
or whatever.
confirm it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
other than that, it sounds like a good cause, and
Yeah.
hopefully you'll have good turnout.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what they do, what all the funds do.
Yeah.
Makes life a little bit easier. And of course, we have many people from our town that has used Boston Children's, let alone the ones we know of mostly, who's lost a son recently.
Right.
And yeah, it's sad. So it takes on a whole different feeling this year than it did
does.
last year.
Yeah. Yep.
You get tired of saying, you want to donate, you want to donate, but now it really does take on a different feeling. So,
Yeah, there's a local connection.
yeah, definitely. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Any further questions or comments?
I'll make the motion that we grant access to the park, permission to use the park for the Rite Aid / Children's Network, Miracle Network. Say that again, Children's Miracle Network, for the use for April 18th.
Yes.
Great, thank you, Bruce. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So passes with a 4-0-0.
All righty. I like that. Thank you
So,
very much.
Thank you.
And I really, really appreciate, your time and coming here.
And if you have a copy or two of the application, I can
Yeah,
I can sign them, and then you can go away with them, and then we're done.
okay, there's, I don't know if this is filled out correctly here.
I'm sure it is.
Kind of messed up.
Today's 26th, right?
Is it a all-day event?
No, it should only, it's supposed
Couple
to be
hours.
high tide right around 1,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have it like at 11.
Uh-huh.
and hope, so probably a couple hours, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm hoping it won't be that long.
Yeah.
Kind of nervous. I've never done anything like that. Like, I don't want.
Well, yeah, it'll be a learning experience.
Yeah.
The learning curve is there.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
so one copy is for you,
okay.
and if you can sign one, and then the other one is for the police department. And if you don't mind, could you drop that off at the police
Oh.
department?
Okay,
It's just so that they're aware that something's happening down there.
all right, good deal. So I just.
If you'd prefer, I can drop it off too.
You
Doesn't
don't need
matter.
one?
we don't need one.
All right. So one's for me and one's for the police.
Yep, and just sign whichever one you give to the police.
All righty.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank
Good
you.
luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Get the word around.
Yes, indeed. So we,
You've been on this fine program, so I'm sure lots of people,
Right, I know.
What's that?
lots of people will
Everybody's
see the
watching.
rebroadcast.
Here, they're saying, stop it. I will never do this again. Thank you very much. Huh? Yeah, I see that.
we try to have some fun. So, so we also have two other requests for usage of the Shanda Park. The next one is from the Newmarket Community Church, and they are requesting to be able to use the Shanda Park on Sunday, April 5th from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. That is Easter Sunday. And, yeah.
They wrote 6 to 6:30.
Well, this form says 6 to 7, so.
At the very
And,
latest. I
and,
think
yeah,
so.
yeah,
Sunrise, sir.
I assume so, yes. So does anyone have any comments or questions related to that request? It's my understanding that the church has used it in the past and was unaware of
They've
the
used it for
application
more than one
process.
type of, they've used it for Easter Sunday before, they used it for other groups in the church, so, again, they're pretty good with the park, and we've never had a
Never had
problem.
any issues, yeah.
I can't imagine an Easter
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Get-together, so that would be a problem, so.
Right.
Do we have to ask about insurance on every application?
No.
Okay.
Just people jumping in the water.
Or dumping water on other people's heads?
So, and again, I will make a motion that we grant permission to use the park to the community church for their Easter Sunday service.
Thank you, Bruce. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So that passes 4-0-0.
We just making good time.
And then our last application is from Jerry Collins, and that is related to trying to set up Chicks Weir. And as has been the case historically, Mr. Collins has not put down a specific day or time, because in order to install the weir, he needs to have time availability and the tide needs to be low, and there's sort of a combination of things that all need to come together in order for that to happen appropriately. Historically, the commission has supported Mr. Collins' installation and use of the weir. So,
I would definitely support it. We just need to let them know those two usage times
yes, correct.
that are already dedicated.
Yeah, which probably won't be a problem, because he's
Wouldn't
gonna
be there
need
at
to
high
wait till
tide.
ice is out
And he
and
needs-
You
clear.
don't want to go high tide.
No, it needs low tide.
Yeah, he needs low
and
tide.
ice out. The only one would be the 18th at a pop, but I mean,
Even
at
then.
That's
6 in the
almost
morning,
peak
you
tide.
probably, or at midday, that's high tide, yeah.
That's right,
They're gonna be there at high tide.
Yeah.
For the splash.
right.
Yeah.
Even
See,
if,
I don't know when he sets his nets up and stuff, how he does it, but
but we
Right.
should
Yeah.
mention it to him.
Yeah.
yeah,
on
I
the
think so.
Application.
Yes, yes, we can do that.
I mean, Jerry's keeping the tradition alive in town, so
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
we really need to back him.
a weir has been used on the Lamprey River since before the European settlers came. So it's a
Long
tradition
time.
that goes back a long way, yes, exactly. So with that in mind, I'll make a motion to grant permission to use Shanda Park for the installation of Chicks Weir by Mr. Jerry Collins.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jeff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And that's a 4-0-0 as well. I will sign this application for Mr. Collins and send it back to him, and I'll include a little note related to the April 5th and 18th dates. And that takes care of the business that we have for this evening.
Want to do the minutes?
No.
Okay, just ask a quick question.
So with that in mind, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Wait a
Oh,
minute.
No, you can adjourn and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
sure.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Andrea.
Yep.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So it's a 4-0-0. Thank you one and all for coming out on our on a special night.